Welcome back. This is Lab 11, question number 2, and this is a big question. We've got 3 different kinds of bikes that Northco manufactures, and the information is given in the first table. We've got some variable manufacturing and selling expenses, advertising, which is traceable to the 3 different kinds of bikes, depreciation of special equipment, and salaries of the product line managers. Presumably, if we no longer have the product line, we don't have to pay that salary anymore. And allocated common fixed costs, those are based on sales dollars, so those are costs of the whole business, but they don't really trace to dirt bikes, mountain bikes, and racing bikes. So if we get rid of the line, it doesn't make any difference to the cost. The cost still has to be expended. And of course, that's the point of the question. Management is concerned about the continued losses shown by the racing bikes and wants a recommendation as to whether or not the line should be discontinued. Special equipment used to produce racing bikes has no resale value and doesn't wear out, so the cost of the special equipment, it doesn't have any resale value, so that's essentially a sunk cost. And if we continue to make the bikes, presumably we don't have to pay those costs. So let's just drag some numbers down. We've got the sales numbers: 120,000 for dirt bikes, 150 for mountain bikes. Doesn't want to drag very well. 60,000 for racing bikes, which are the ones in question. So that will still add up to 330. And of course, all the variable costs would still just carry on down. And since the revenue and the variable costs are all the same, the contribution margin would all be the same as well. And where things differ is below the line with the fixed costs. Advertising, would, if you continue to use the 3 lines in your product mix, whoops, let's try that one again. Presumably you still have to do your advertising. The depreciation of the special equipment, that oops. The salaries of the product line managers, and the allocated fixed costs, you'll see that they have not carried those down. I think I missed something here. Depreciation of special equipment. There we go. So now we can add up the traceable fixed expenses by just adding up the total. So 35,000 plus 44,000 plus 51,000 is 130,000, difference of 66 there. 38 plus 12 is 50,000. And 1124 plus 16 would presumably be 40,000. And 16 plus 24 would be 40,000 as well. So that gives us a product line segment margin of the difference between 240,000. Oops, we need another 0 please. And minus 130,000. Make sure you get enough zeros there. Whoops, not too many zeros. There we go, that makes more sense. 78 minus 50 for the next one. 135,000 minus 40,000. Oops, trying to tab it, it's not working. Oh, we're losing money here. 27,000 minus 40,000. Still losing money, 13,000. That's not good. The common fixed expenses, we don't actually, it doesn't make any sense to allocate those because they don't go away if we get rid of the product line. So 110,000 minus 66,000 is 44,000. Probably isn't a bad idea to check to make sure that 28 plus 95 minus 13 is actually 110. So 28 minus 13 is 15 plus 95. It is 110. You can check that by just doing the calculation in a cell as well. So if we decide that we're going to get rid of the racing bikes line, the 27,000 contribution margin would be gone. The advertising expense wouldn't be required anymore. So we'll save that. And the special the depreciation on the special equipment, that's a sunk cost, so that doesn't make any difference to the choice. We'll save the salary of the product line manager, and of course the allocated common fixed expense doesn't change. So if we lose the contribution margin, that's a negative amount. So let me put that in as a negative amount. That's a lost amount. And then the total fixed costs are 28,000. So we're actually better off by 1,000, which is the 28,000 minus the 27,000. Okay, let's see what Lyrics thinks of all of that. As I can. There we go. Lyrics agrees that we're actually better off to lose the racing bike division, because $1,000, we've got $1,000 more after getting rid of the division. But it's not as obvious as it looked in the original calculation. So that's it, we're done.